ever since that I was at a plane landing. Oh. Hello guys, how are you doing? The time is 10:13 a.m. and today is Wednesday, August 5th. Oh, what a day yesterday was. After having worked on 1,400 slides in 2 days of last weekend. Yes, 1,400 slides, you heard me right. I have posted the 2 challenge countdown videos. Like, I used the same PowerPoint presentation when I did my challenge countdown from 1,000, and in a matter of days the number of views skyrocketed. I have used the same PowerPoint presentation for 2 other challenge countdowns, maybe 3. Was it 2? Because I had a challenge, 3, my bad. So I had a total of 4 videos using the same PowerPoint presentation, including the famous challenge countdown from 1,000. And if you may notice, in this area there used to be a buffet. They don't have that buffet anymore. They took it down. Oh, hey, don't get me wrong. It was quite simply coming, since there has hardly been any activity in the buffet the last 3 years, so it became very difficult to continue to operate. And look, we still got that rain water from that hard rain that we've had on July 25th. Today's August 5th, and we still have part of that rainwater down there. No, it's been a while. Well guys, I thought I'd make a surprise and take a train ride to the subway station of the old airport. Once again, I am at the premises of the old airport, which last year I had visited 3 times. The first time it was New Year's Day of last year. The second time I had done a Plushables episode, and the third time, that was the day that I had visited all 3 of the airports, one being the currently in use main airport, the other one being the former main airport, and the third one being the Sabia airport. That's on the Anatolian side, the secondary airport. This is now my 4th visit. Here's the entrance of the airport. A group of crazy teens. Well, just as I was filming that clip, that lot got told off by the guards. So it's gonna be a very serious discussion in this vlog. You know, I have said numerous times in my vlogs this year that I would be more content to stick to what is going on in the present, sometimes with the past, and very, very rarely with the future. And nowadays, whenever someone would bring up the future in front of me, like getting a job and all that, it would overwhelm me so much after just 10 seconds. And when I go on YouTube, 75% of the videos that are recommended to me are about the difficulties of getting a job, getting employed, things like that. It's just insane why YouTube would recommend me all of this. 75% of the videos that are being recommended to me are about that. And the thing is, I don't want to get a job. I don't want a job. I want to be one of those celebrity type people. I want to be like an iShowSpeed, being a social media influencer like iShowSpeed, or being a songwriter, movie maker, someone who can gain the celebrity status. That's someone who I would love to be. Like, I just don't want to get a basic job. But when I was between the ages of 10 and 16, I was so highly willing to get a job. Hardly a week went by that I did not talk to my friends, my family, about the future, what I want to work. I was actually feeling very enthusiastic and heavily desired to get a basic job. And yes, it's the exit of the airport. There were days that I even argued with my family about wanting to work at 16 or at 17. But in the last 7 years, it hasn't been the same. And I'll talk to you about it after a long 7 years. With that being said, after 7 years, I am going to break my silence and talk about the long story that put me in this situation, that I don't want to get a job and I don't want to work. Those future talks overwhelm me so much. Let me tell you, it all started on March 2nd, 2019. So on that day, my mom and I had returned from a 2-day skiing holiday, and we had landed at this airport. On that day, I had zero knowledge that would be my last landing at the former Ataturk airport. And while getting out at the airport, I got into such a big, disastrous brawl while waiting to get a cab. It was unbelievably intense. It was very highly dramatic. And yes, getting out of the airport, I had filmed one clip of the vlog. So I came to see my dad, and I talked for another minute and ended the vlog afterwards. And at that time, the loft was out of use. It was just so highly dramatic that I did not even want to talk about it. I was so lost for words, and it was crazy. And the next time I would fly out of Istanbul, which was in June 2019, upon learning that I'd be flying from the new airport, my thinking about the future in that day totally changed. Because I went to one of those schools that does the International Baccalaureate program, and if I ever said once, maybe twice, that, IB is international bullshit, well, was it? From my experience, yes, it was. Because I have, there's theory of knowledge classes where you sit in class for 45 to 50 minutes, listen to future talks and going to college, getting a job, this and that. And it was so fucking boring that I dropped out after 4 weeks. At the end of September, getting into October, majority of my classmates did go to a creativity activity service trip, what you call CAS. It's creativity activity service. And when it came to writing reflections and all that, I hated it. And I did not go to that trip. I refused to go to that trip. And when it came to talking about college, I said, you know what? I'll take 2 years of, I'll take it, how can I say, 2 gap years. I take 2 gap years and then start college. At around the time of late 2019, it was hardly a week that I did not listen to future talks and like to college and all this stuff. Like after 10 seconds, I get so overwhelmed, and I still do. Even today, whenever someone brings up the future, getting a job and all that, I get so easily overwhelmed after 10 seconds. On some days, I even lose it so easily. June 23rd, 2019 was the first flight that I've had from the Istanbul airport, and upon learning that I would be flying from the Istanbul airport from June 2019 onwards, thinking about that brawl put me into such trauma. It was just overwhelming thinking about it. My enthusiasm about wanting to get a job completely drained from just days after. Then a series of conflicts had started. There were so many days that things were getting very, very edgy until the day of the deepest cut, which was July 29th, 2019, which a major conflict while heading to my grandma's house did end terribly with a car crash. The front windshield crashed. For so long, I thought that was the key day that put me in this position. Then in the recent weeks, I have figured out that the key day was indeed the day that I've had a brawl at this airport on what was my last landing. That was crazy, man. The last time I had landed at this airport, I had such a terrible fight that I still live with that trauma, even after 7 years. My last visit to a place which I have had so many memories as a child, into the vlogs, ended so disastrous with such a terrible fight, all waiting to get a taxi. It was such a sad last landing that I've had here. And honestly, this is what I wanted to confess about. Ever since that I was at a plane landing. Oh, I couldn't see it. I heard noise in the engine, I just couldn't see it. But now I'm gonna make it back to the station. Every word, I understand that every word that I said about this was with overwhelming pressure. That was, okay, yeah. Now that I got into a train, well, it has 5 minutes yet to depart, but the day of the big brawl was indeed the starting point and the key event that put me into this situation. I don't want to work. I still enjoy coming to Turkey, going around, and now the train's about to start moving. I can say that there were some days that made me learn from that day for the better, but a lot for the worse. Because the first day I started International Baccalaureate after getting home from school, I had a letterboard. I broke that letterboard. I threw a fit because I did not want to start school again and get into those future talks. And in December last year, I did drop out of college. I just don't want to go back. To be honest, I don't want to go back. All right, now we're moving. So I am going to put an end to this confession vlog. Talk to you tomorrow.